Imagine you're sitting at dinner, enjoying a quiet evening, when suddenly someone interrupts your peace. You turn around, and it's a fan. Someone who's been following you for years, excited to meet you. But instead of a smile, they get rejection. And not just any rejection. Cristiano Ronaldo's reaction was so unexpected, it left the fan in tears. What happens next? Well, it might surprise you. Stick around to find out how this story took an emotional turn no one saw coming. If you're intrigued, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you never miss a story like this. Cristiano Ronaldo was having a quiet evening at his favorite restaurant. It was a peaceful spot, far from the crowds and flashing cameras. The lighting was soft, and the room was calm, with just the sound of quiet conversations around him. He was enjoying his meal, savoring the moment. After a long day, this dinner was his time to relax. No pressure, no fans. Just a simple, peaceful evening. But just as he was about to take a bite, something unexpected happened. As a global superstar, Ronaldo was used to the attention. Fans would often approach him for selfies, autographs, and quick photos. It came with the territory of being one of the world's most famous athletes. But tonight, this was supposed to be different. It wasn't just another fan looking for a selfie. This moment was about his chance to relax, to be away from the flashing cameras and the constant demands for a picture. So, when the fan approached him, it wasn't just an innocent request. It was an interruption of the one thing Ronaldo had been craving: peace. The fan had been following Ronaldo's career for years. She admired him not just as a football legend, but as a person. When she found out he was dining at this restaurant, she couldn't believe her luck. It felt like a dream come true. This was her chance to meet her idol, the man she had looked up to for so long. Her heart raced as she made her way towards his table. She wasn't sure if she would even get the chance to speak to him, but she knew she had to try. She had dreamt of this moment, and now, standing just a few feet away, she couldn't contain her excitement. But what happened next? Well, that's where the story takes a surprising turn. With her heart pounding, the fan took a deep breath and walked toward Ronaldo's table. She wasn't sure how he'd react, but she knew she couldn't let the chance slip away. She approached him carefully, her voice shaking as she politely asked, "Excuse me, Mr. Ronaldo, would you mind if I take a quick selfie with you? I've been such a huge fan for years." She made sure to respect his space, waiting for his response before making any sudden moves. It wasn't impulsive. She tried to be as respectful as possible. But still, she couldn't help feeling nervous. After all, meeting a legend like Ronaldo was a moment she'd never forget, no matter what happened. With her heart pounding, the fan took a deep breath and walked toward Ronaldo's table. She wasn't sure how he'd react, but she knew she couldn't let the chance slip away. She approached him carefully, her voice shaking as she politely asked, "Excuse me, Mr. Ronaldo, would you mind if I take a quick selfie with you? I've been such a huge fan for years." She made sure to respect his space, waiting for his response before making any sudden moves. It wasn't impulsive. She tried to be as respectful as possible. But still, she couldn't help feeling nervous. After all, meeting a legend like Ronaldo was a moment she'd never forget, no matter what happened. But then, as she nervously waited for his response, something unexpected happened. Ronaldo, who had been quietly enjoying his dinner just moments before, looked up at her. His expression, however, was far from the friendly smile she had imagined. Without saying a word, he gave her a cold, almost dismissive look. It wasn't the warm reception she had hoped for. For a brief moment, it felt like time stood still. She stood there, frozen, unsure of what to do. He didn't smile. He didn't wave her over. Instead, he simply turned his attention back to his meal, as if she wasn't even there. The fan's heart sank. What had she done wrong? She had approached him politely, tried to be respectful, but his reaction was harsh. Unexpectedly so. The warmth she had imagined was replaced with a chill, leaving her feeling small and embarrassed. Here's how you can discuss why Ronaldo's reaction might have been unexpected. The fan couldn't understand what had just happened. Why was Ronaldo so cold? She had been respectful, polite, everything she thought he would appreciate. But maybe there was more to it than met the eye. Perhaps it wasn't about her at all. Maybe Ronaldo had just had a long, exhausting day, one full of media appearances, training, and constant attention. It was entirely possible that, after all the pressure, he was craving a moment of normalcy, just a peaceful dinner without the interruptions. Or maybe he was having a rough day, mentally or emotionally. Everyone has those days when they just want to be left alone, even if they're in the spotlight. For a star like Ronaldo, the weight of the world is often on his shoulders, and a small moment of privacy can feel like a luxury. Whatever the reason, his reaction was far from what the fan had expected. Instead of the friendly interaction she dreamed of, she was left standing there, feeling like an intruder in his private moment. The fan stood there, stunned. Her heart sank as Ronaldo turned away, dismissing her with nothing more than a cold glance. For a moment, she couldn't move. She had never imagined this would happen, especially after all the years of admiration and respect she had for him. A wave of embarrassment rushed over her. She felt small, as if everyone in the restaurant was suddenly staring at her. Her cheeks flushed, and she quickly looked down, hoping to disappear. She had just wanted a simple selfie, a quick moment to remember forever. But instead, she was left feeling rejected, crushed by the very person she had looked up to for so long. Her excitement had turned to hurt. Her dream moment shattered in an instant. She wasn't sure whether to walk away or to try again, though deep down, she knew she couldn't. The pain of being dismissed so suddenly was too much to bear. As she stood there, her eyes began to well up. The sting of rejection hit harder than she could have ever imagined. Tears blurred her vision, but she quickly wiped them away, hoping no one would notice. But the hurt was too deep. She couldn't hide it. This moment, so simple in its beginning, had quickly turned into something painful. She had dreamed of this encounter for years, imagining what it would be like to meet Ronaldo, the person she admired most. But now, instead of feeling proud or excited, all she felt was an overwhelming sadness. It wasn't just about the selfie. It wasn't even about being dismissed. It was the realization that the person she had looked up to, the person she thought was larger than life, had treated her in a way that felt personal. In that moment, she couldn't help but feel like her admiration, all the years of support, meant nothing. She was just another face, ignored in a sea of fans. And that hurt more than words could express. Just as the fan turned to leave, wiping away the last of her tears, something surprising happened. Ronaldo, who had been quietly focused on his meal, suddenly stood up. He called out to her, his voice soft but genuine. "Hey, I'm sorry," he said, his tone completely different from the coldness earlier. "I didn't mean to upset you. It's just, sometimes I really need a break from everything. The constant attention can be overwhelming, you know?" The fan turned around, surprised, unsure if she was hearing him correctly. Ronaldo continued, "I respect you for being a fan, and I'm grateful for your support. I just didn't know how to handle it in that moment." With that, he smiled, and to her shock, he gestured for her to come back. "Come on, let's take that selfie. I'm sorry for making you feel like that." Her heart lifted in an instant. The sadness faded, replaced by a rush of relief. It was more than just the selfie now. It was the understanding. The moment wasn't about the photo anymore, but about realizing that even superstars have their own struggles and moments of vulnerability. As they took the picture together, the fan couldn't help but smile, feeling a sense of closure and connection she hadn't expected. Ronaldo had not only acknowledged her feelings, but had also turned a difficult moment into something memorable, leaving her with a newfound respect for him, beyond just the athlete. This encounter between Ronaldo and the fan teaches us something important about respect, patience, and understanding. Sometimes we can be so caught up in our own excitement or expectations that we forget the other person may be going through something we don't see. It's a reminder that even the most famous people, those we admire from afar, can have tough days, moments where they just need a break from the world. It's so easy to judge based on a single interaction. But when we take the time to understand the bigger picture, we often realize there's more to the story. So, how would you handle a similar situation? Would you give the person some space or show empathy for what they might be going through? Kindness, patience, and understanding go a long way. And in the end, it's always good to treat others how we would want to be treated. Ronaldo's gesture at the end showed us that even in moments of discomfort, there's room for kindness and growth. We could all learn a little from that. If you enjoyed this story and the twist at the end, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories like this one. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had an awkward encounter with a celebrity? Or, how would you have reacted if you were in the fan's shoes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going.